Hey guys, welcome back. It's Mr. Marone here. Today we're going to talk about truth values and statements. So before we do that, just want to give a little bit of definition here. The first one we're going to look at are statements. We've talked a little bit in class about them, but statements are a sentence that's either true or false. They're always going to have some form of a value. So whenever we make a statement, I'm going to ask for what's called the truth value. And you're going to either be able to tell me true or false, T for true, F for false, to shorten it up. You know how us mathematicians are. And we're going to represent sentences and statements using letters such as P, Q, and R, which are the three most used ones for us here. And they're always italicized. So just be aware that you'll see kind of an italicized P or Q, and those would indicate statements for us. And an example of something like this is that supplementary angles have a sum of 180 degrees. Sorry for the typo. And that would be statement P. And in this case, we know that supplementary angles have a value of 180 degrees, so our truth value here would be true. Now, a negation is when we want to say the opposite of a truth value, or that a statement has the opposite truth value. Okay, and we use the symbol with a squiggly line just like that. Once again, sorry for the typos. And this is read as not P. Okay, so to give you an example, not P would state that supplementary angles do not have a sum of 180 degrees. And as we saw before, we know that supplementary angles have a value of 180 degrees, so our truth value there would be false. Now we're going to look at two sets of compound statements. A compound statement is two or more statements that are joined by the words and or. And we have one for each of them. Okay, a conjunction, which should sound familiar. We've used conjunctions just like it is. We use its, or do not is don't. We have mathematical conjunctions as well. And it's two statements that are joined by the word and. And what's really important here is we write it as P with a what's called a caret symbol and then a Q. So an upside down V would mean and. Okay, that's a union symbol. And it is only true when both statements are true. Okay, if one of the statements is false, then you could not say that a conjunction is true. Okay? Where a disjunction is when we have two or more statements that are joined by the word or. Okay? And what's crucial about them is we write it with P with a V in between and then a Q. Okay, so P or Q is how it's read, where before we had P and Q. And this is true when at least one of the two statements is true. So if one of the two is true, we can say that this disjunction is true. So I want to look at a couple of examples here. So I've given you three statements below, and I'm going to give you a collection or a compound statement question, and I want you guys to determine their truth value. You first have to write the compound statement. So my suggestion is after I pose each one, I would pause the video, give it a try yourself, and then watch to see my answer. So the first one is asking for statement P and statement Q. So I'll stop for a second, let you guys try it, and then we will take a look at the answer. Alright, so if we're doing P and Q, our compound statement would read that there are 7 days in a week and March has 31 days. So something that might help just in the future when we're dealing with these in class is I'm going to go over to my three statements here and I'm going to find out their truth value. We all know that there are 7 days in a week. March does not have 30 days. March has 31 days. And Halloween is on October 31st. Okay, so we know that statement P is true. Statement Q is false. Statement R is true. So if we look at this statement over here, they're saying there are 7 days in a week and March has 7 days. Well, we have a true and we have a false here. And with a compound statement that has an and symbol, both have to be true. So this truth value is going to be false here. Next one up I'm going to have you try is Q and R. So hopefully you've written this compound statement that March has 30 days and Halloween is on October 31st. Okay, once again we know that March does not have 30 days, it has 31. but we know that Halloween is on October 31st. So even though we have a truth, we need both of them true since we have this and. So our truth value here is going to be false. And the final one I want you to try is P and R. So this is how the statement should read. There are 7 days in a week and Halloween is on October 31st. Okay, so if we look closely at this, we know there are 7 days in a week and we know that Halloween is on October 31st. Since they are both true, our truth value here would be true. Okay. If you have any questions, make sure to ask tomorrow in class, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson. See you soon.